Alright everybody, we should be live. Gonna do my usual start of stream, YouTube check. Eventually I'll get in, enough in order that I'll actually have this prepared on my phone before I go live. Okay, we got our audio check. Hello everyone. Happy Friday the 13th. Perfectly spooky day for some more horror movie rating as well as some more Resident Evil 4. We've got a really kind of jam-packed Resident Evil 4 chapter upcoming. We're basically going to be finishing the village today, and now through the end of the village is jam-packed with content. So we'll want to get into that, but before we do, we have I think the longest single section of this whole thing that we've done. Apparently there's a lot of horror films which begin with the letter S, and it's unfortunate that on this Friday the 13th, for on this spookiest of days aside from Halloween, that we've already covered the Friday the 13th franchise. Okay, here's one. I can't remember where all I placed the others. There should be probably none outstanding. There might be some in actually good. There's probably quite a few in maybe worth seeing. 'Cause part 2, there's the original. Ahead of part 2, I would usually put Final Chapter, which is number 4, as well as there we go, Final Chapter, Jason Lives. I do love Jason X, as mentioned, as well, right next to the very first and the very last of the main series. So if you're looking to watch a spooky movie tonight and you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to watch this funny little mouse play Resident Evil 4, I would say enjoy a thematically relevant Friday the 13th. So for our audio in our starting portion tonight, we have Eerie Tales from 1919, starring Conrad Veidt, the legendary Conrad Veidt, not enormously well known in a contemporary sense. He was a silent movie star who is perhaps best known as being he was in a movie called The Man Who Laughs, which very famously was a big influence on the design of the Joker from Batman. And many decades later, there would actually be a graphic novel called The Man Who Laughs, which is about Joker. So we with our Eerie Tales audio, we get into some movies. Salem's Lot, the original. I don't want to keep ragging on Stephen King. I think I'm actually going to put this somewhere in the maybe worth seeing. I kind of like Salem's Lot. I don't love it. I don't want to keep ragging on Stephen King, and I was thinking about this the other day. We'll put this with the original It. Like, there's a kinship between them. That a lot of the King that I like on film isn't actually his horror stuff per se, which might be why I'm skewing away from high ratings on these. But like Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, Stand By Me, those are some pretty effective films. Salem's Lot, the remake, I have not seen. I'm not particularly interested. I don't think that it was particularly well received, but I'll just throw it under neutral for the time being because I don't know too much about it. The original Saw franchise, we talked a little bit about horror of the 2000s and like torture porn and gore porn. I'm maybe like nuking my visibility by mentioning those words in the first couple of minutes of this stream, but the Saw films are probably the biggest successful franchise of that period. They're what I think a lot of people largely associate, because there's like 11 of them or something. I haven't seen them all myself, so we are going to be throwing some of these into sequel jail. But the original Saw I actually think is actually good. I'm willing to throw it somewhere in the middle of actually good. In fact, like I actually think it's maybe higher than the middle. I don't even know. I don't know if it's as good as. I might bump Halloween 2 down a bit. Saw, the original Saw film, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is actually really tight and really quite effective, and it's surprisingly not that self-indulgent. It's almost, I think of it, if it existed today, it would have been made very differently. But I think, like, if the Saw franchise had never existed and someone came to the table with the Saw script today, I actually genuinely think it would be picked up by like an A24, and it would be treated as like a prestige horror film. It doesn't have the super elaborate traps that the series would later become known for. I don't think it's even particularly heavy on gore or torture. Like, it is grim. There is a little bit of both of those things, but it is a weird high pressure thriller in many regards, more so than it is just like a, again, not a torture film or something. The setup to the original Saw, for any, like, for people who have a reputation of like the Saw franchise as a whole, but maybe you haven't seen the original, two guys wake up in some kind of clinical commercial bathroom, I guess you could say. They are both like chained to radiators. There's almost nothing that they can reach in the room. They can't reach each other. They have a they're both provided with a hacksaw, and they basically receive instructions. They receive instructions from their captor that the hacksaws were specifically chosen because the hacksaws and the chains were specifically chosen in tandem, I should say, that the hacksaws just are not strong enough to cut through the chains. You know, like the metal is softer. It is too soft to cut through the chains. It is, however, strong enough to cut through your own limb. And the man basically says, hey, if you have the conviction to, you know, cut off your own limb, there's a gun in the center of the room. I think it's in the center of the room with this dead body that's also in the center of the room. And I want whoever has the conviction to not only to cut off their own limb, you have to go get the gun and then kill the other guy in the room. It's a pretty horrifying setup, and the two characters, there's this back and forth trading of information and withholding of information, and they're trying to play this mind game with each other of how much does each of them know about the situation that they're in. You eventually find that one of them is involved with the police, for example. It is investigating the serial killer. The whole setup is actually, I think really, really effective, and the serial killer sets up these elaborate traps to kill people, and I think that it's like, it is quite horrifying, and it is quite effective, and it's not really scary. I wouldn't say it's a scary film, but it's like, it is like an intense and effective premise for this mind game to play out. And the fact that something so sobering, so sober, I should say, so sober and so restrained became this kind of outrageous series that it would become is something I don't think that anyone predicted. We have Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 5, Saw 6, Saw the final chapter, obviously not the final chapter. We have Jigsaw and then Spiral. There might be other Saws than what we have here. This is not as many as I thought. This is 7, 8, 9. I'm almost certain they're past 10 at this point. And maybe I'm missing out on this, but I have seen Saw 2. My understanding is that Saw 2, part of why the series evolved the way that it did was part of why the series evolved the way that it is that the original Saw was a much bigger success, I believe, than was originally intended. And I'm not the expert in Saw lore, but my general understanding is that Saw 2 was originally going to be a different film, and they basically it was already in production, and they basically were like, this movie we made called Saw is blowing up insanely huge. The movie you all are making now is now going to become Saw 2. Saw 2 I actually think is kind of cool. I think it's like kind of middle of the pack in the maybe worth seeing zone. It introduces the much more elaborate traps that the series would become known for. It more readily establishes the kind of pattern and the lore that the rest of the films would become known for as well. The setup is that the serial killer Jigsaw has this like almost cult-like following around him. It gets into more of his like ideology and his motivations, and I think it's a reasonably effective setup for this larger story. Saw 3, while Saw 2 isn't the maybe worth seeing, I would probably put Saw 3 in the maybe or probably not worth seeing. It is more Saw and just kind of worse. I'm sorry to say that past this point I actually haven't seen the other films. We are going to actually throw them. I do actually eventually want to see them all, which I know a lot of people are saying like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't watch the rest of the Saw films. They are bad. I've always had like a lingering curiosity to see where the rest of this this franchise goes, and I've heard different sequels have different levels of support to them. Spiral in particular, I think it is Spiral that got a little bit of buzz back on its name. I'm not 100% sure about that, but yeah, Spiral, despite its name being different, is part of, and Jigsaw for that matter, Jigsaw and Spiral are part of the saga. Scanners is not a horror movie. I don't think it's a horror movie, at least. Like, people may disagree with me on that. I like Scanners. I like Scanners a lot. I like early Cronenberg a lot. We talked about The Brood before. I like Cronenberg in general. That's not like a controversial opinion. You know, I have Videodrome over on the shelf of my Criterions. I like The History of Violence. I like Eastern Promises quite a bit. I just finally saw Crimes of the Future, which I thought was fabulous. I really liked Crimes of the Future. So yeah, I like Cronenberg, but I don't think Scanners is a horror movie. It's good, it's cool, it's weird. I actually do really like it. It's of the not a horror movie section. It's not up there with American Psycho. It's not up there with The Menu or Pan's Labyrinth, or Predator, but it might be the next one down the list in terms of my favorites on here. Like, I might put it above The Crow and Death Proof and Donnie Darko. Scanners is good. Check it out. Check out Scanners. It's cool. You probably have seen the head explosion gif. It's like a really famous one. Is that there's a guy who, very 70s looking man with male pattern baldness and a mustache, as memory serves, and he's like looking all tough, and then his head explodes. And not only have you probably seen that gif before, like that's old gif. This is like a thing people would share on forums on the internet like 25 years ago. But the funny thing about that gif is that's like the main thing that I knew about Scanners when I first saw Scanners, and that scene happens. That's not like the climax of the movie. That happens in like the first like 3 minutes. Yeah, really sorry to spoil that, I guess, but it's like you'll like the second you see the scene set up, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know I've seen this. And you'll be like, is this really at the beginning of the movie? And yes, it is. Scary stories to tell in the dark. As a child, I never read these books. I know a lot of children have very strong feelings about them. They're supposed to be among the scariest stories that kids have access to. And we talked a little bit earlier in this about how I do wish that like more horror for kids was kind of available. Because I never experienced these books as a child, I can't really comment on them much. But I actually kind of liked the movie. I think it is maybe worth seeing. I didn't love it. I don't remember it particularly well. I watched it with a group of friends online. I liked it though. I thought it was a cool movie with some inventive visuals, which are based very much on the book illustrations, as I understand it. But yeah, I rather liked Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, even as someone who has no nostalgia whatsoever for those books. I still found it quite like a nice horror movie. Like it's a nice little adventure with some cool stuff in it. Scream. Wes Craven, of course, produced Scream. Wes Craven, of course, is the gentleman behind the Nightmare on Elm Street series. He worked on a number of other things, though, as well, like Last House on the Left and Serpent in the Rainbow, and he was always a lifelong horror man. Scream is one of his many career revival projects, and it was kind of his meta text. It was a meta text story following up on kind of the legacy of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, which we talked about New Nightmare kind of also being that. Scream, I think, is like, it's a little bit tighter and it's a little bit subtler, and it's a very clever pastiche because it never feels like parody, it never feels like satire, but it is a smart and mindful reflection on the genre. I don't know if I want to go all the way to saying that it's outstanding. I don't think it's quite on that level. I do actually think it's somewhere like fairly high in the actually good section. I think Scream is actually quite a good movie. And if you aren't familiar with Scream, if you haven't seen Scream, I think it is good. And if you don't know what the twist is, avoid it. I think it's actually like an excellent twist. It's super smart. It's incredibly elegant. It's a really elegant twist, and that's something that is hard to come by. I feel like a lot of certain twists in certain movies are kind of dependent on a series of completely unassumable information. And that is not the case in Scream. And I think Scream has such a smart twist because it is so simple. And I don't want to say more about that, but I think it's really quite brilliant that no one has ever done it before. I don't think anyone had ever done it before. So, at least not in my immediate knowledge. So Scream, I think, is fabulous. Check it out. I don't like rewatch it very often, but it's a good one. It's a good one to check out. The Scream sequels I've never seen, I'm sorry to say. I know some of them are reasonably well liked. I guess I might throw them into the want to section. Not only I guess I don't know as much about the meta text around, or like the meta dialogue, not meta text. I don't know the larger like fan dialogue about like what are the good ones, what are the bad ones. I know some of them are well liked. I know that it is among a series of 2010s kind of revisitations that people are quite positive about, and people have talked about these as being in the discourse with like the David Gordon Green Halloween comeback films of the 2010s, and that's very high praise to bring to the table. I don't think we ever talked about that, by the way, that the Halloween comeback movie, where did I throw it? I think I put it in actually good. Where is, yeah, here we go. Halloween, directed by David Gordon Green, who people a few years prior would have known him as being like the Pineapple Express and Your Highness guy. People were maybe kind of surprised if they only knew him as like the stoner comedy guy, but David Gordon Green actually had a very, very reputable career as a serious indie filmmaker for quite some time. He directed a really outstanding indie film around the year 2000 or so called George Washington. It has nothing to do with the founding father. It's about kids. Really beautiful film. Check out George Washington. Also on Criterion, so get in there. See No Evil with Kane. Kane being a kind of a middle tier wrestling star of the 90s. I know I've seen No Evil. I know I have seen See No Evil. I don't really remember it, so I'm going to throw it into Needs a Rewatch. This is one of these ones that, like, you'd see this cover at Family Video or Blockbuster all the time. And I have no idea about See No Evil 2. This doesn't particularly interest me. I will throw it under haven't seen neutral. Seven is not a horror movie. It's another quite good movie. Early David Fincher. David Fincher, of course, you all should know is Social Network and Zodiac and the American remake of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and many other films. He also did Mindhunter for Netflix. Young Brad Pitt, young-ish Morgan Freeman. It's a good movie. It's a good movie that isn't a horror movie. It's about a serial killer, and it's not a horror movie. I have no idea what The Shallow is, and it's going to join more shark movies. We should count up all of them at some point. Shark Night also joining that. The Shining. No, we have nothing more to say about shark movies, so we're just going to zoom past. The Shining is going to go all the way to the top, and I'm going to throw it under personal favorites, which, a number of years ago, I really would not have said that. I actually, when I first saw The Shining, I was actually rather disappointed by it. I didn't particularly like it, and I liked Kubrick. Like, I already liked 2001 quite a bit. 2001 is still one of my favorite movies. And it was at that time as well. And I'd seen and respected Full Metal Jacket. Those might have been the only Kubricks I had seen at the time when I first saw The Shining, and I said I was a little bit disappointed in it. But it's a film like Jaws that I kind of got the itch to see it again a couple years later. And I liked it a little bit more, but I didn't think I really liked it all that much anyway. And I got the itch again and again and again, and I just kind of realized eventually it's like, okay, like I initially, despite being initially pretty cold to it, even kind of negative about it because of my disappointment, I think I realized eventually, no, I actually do really like this movie. It's just like taking me a while to understand what it is and what it is that I'm experiencing and why I like it. And I still hold that feeling. I think it's become one of my personal favorites. Its legend and reputation as one of the all-time greats is well earned. I don't think I certainly don't think it's Kubrick's best. I still would hold 2001: A Space Odyssey above it. I would also hold Barry Lyndon above it. But it might be my third favorite after those two. Yeah, Shining is really cool. It has a few problems with it. The oft-cited issue that Jack Nicholson is a little bit too sinister and a little bit too... He's already a little too creepy and a little too... He's already a little too obviously a villain at the start of the film. And that's a problem. But I kind of think the whole rest of the film is like almost perfect. Aside from that one issue. There's other minor things here and there, but I think that's like the one issue people bring up that I'm especially inclined to think like, okay, this is... I think that's maybe like the thing that's keeping it from like leaping all the way up here or so is and I might put Reanimator above Creepshow. I might put Shining above Creepshow too. I might put Reanimator above The Fly also. But like The Shining would be like way up here, maybe not above Dawn, maybe not above Alien, but like it'd be very, very, very high in my list, if not four. As said, I think Nicholson is a little. He's like a little too much of a creep at the start of the film, and I do think his performance is very good overall. I wonder at times if they could have or should have started the film, like if they started with someone who's less threatening, like would they have been able to crank them up to being more threatening than Jack Nicholson? But again, it's a great movie. Check it out if you haven't. It's a slow burn, but it's worth it. Sick. I don't know anything about. It's got a decent enough poster, but I have no idea. It's a Peacock original, so I'm actually going to assume it's bad. I'm going to throw it in my my bad zone. Silence of the Lambs, I think there's a very serious argument I could make that it's not a horror movie in the way that Seven is not a horror movie. I think Silence of the Lambs gets closer to being a horror movie than Seven ever is, though. Like, Silence of the Lambs has like a few sequences where there's like more of a sense of peril that Seven does not have. I don't know. I'm inclined to throw it in not a horror movie. If we accept the premise that it is a horror movie, it's joining the top row. It's joining personal favorites. I love Silence of the Lambs. It's a great movie. Once again, I got the Criterion over on my shelf. And it would be higher. It's probably something like that. Like, it's pretty high in my favorites. We'll leave it up there just for the sake of it. Even though I think it's dubious being on this list. Silence of the Lambs is an outstanding film. I think it's a really fascinating film. I think it's a really beautiful film. Incredible performances, extremely tight script. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it that others have not. Red Dragon is I think Red Dragon is actually pretty awful. I think it's a pretty terrible film. Actually, no, it's not Red Dragon. I'm thinking the wrong one. I apologize, everyone. Red Dragon's okay. I was immediately thinking of Hannibal, which is like the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal is terrible. I think Hannibal is like a very bad movie. Like an almost shockingly bad film. And it's a bummer that it's a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Red Dragon is it's not a sequel. It is technically a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. The same story that is part of Red Dragon has also previously been adapted by Michael Mann in the film Manhunter. And the story of Red Dragon is also the final season of the Hannibal television series. Is based on the Red Dragon. Like, that arc in that TV show is based on Red Dragon. Red Dragon is okay. I don't love it. I prefer Manhunter as a film. I would say Red Dragon as a movie is the worst adaptation of the Red Dragon story. I would say it is maybe worth seeing. But then again, maybe he's at the top, either at the very bottom of maybe worth seeing or at the very top of probably not worth seeing. As I said, I think it's just the worst telling of the Red Dragon story, which is like why I'm inclined to knock it down a peg. Because I said Manhunter is just better. Manhunter is a better movie at telling the story. And the Hannibal TV series is probably the best overall telling of the story. Obviously, it has more time to do it. And it's also the third season of a television series where you've had all this time built up. So, you know, the TV series gets an edge. But, like, even as a movie, Manhunter, I think, is, like, better than Red Dragon. Manhunter also has Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter. which I think is actually like a pretty inspired performance because he is so nonchalant and he is initially non-villainous and non-threatening to a degree that actually ends up becoming more threatening the more you kind of sit with it, compared to Anthony Hopkins, who is basically playing Dracula, and I don't say that in a bad way, but it's like, I don't say it in a bad way, but it's like, yeah, he's playing Dracula. He is this kind of like this like lord, this like regal figure who is controlling and obsessive and monstrous, but is still ultimately kind of has this like etiquette to him or something. And then Mads Mikkelsen in the Hannibal TV series, famously he based his on this idea of like, oh, what if like Satan came to Earth and was like trying to understand what it was to be human, and is like so disconnected from humanity that like he barely seems human at all. Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter is entirely mundane and dispassionate, and hearing him talk is like, I don't know, it's like it's hard to describe. He's just like your friend's boring dad or something. Like he's like very, in Manhunter he is like weirdly so without pretense or theatricality, that it actually starts becoming kind of disturbing. Again, the more you sit with it, the more you think of it. He's like disarmingly mundane in a way that is complementary to his fierce intelligence and like and threat that you get in the film. But that's that. It is funny to me. Yeah. It's funny Hannibal isn't in this list, and is it Hannibal Rising? I think that there was a prequel. I never saw it. And what's the other one that I'm missing? Hannibal Rising. Is there not another one in there that I'm forgetting? Well, in any case, it's funny and strange that those aren't in this list when all these others are. Silent Hill, the original. This is going to be kind of a hot take, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. I think the Silent Hill movie is actually good. I do think it's better than the original Resident Evil. I don't really want to put it too high in the actually good section because it's not that good. But I think the Silent Hill movie is one of the more earnest adaptations of a video game, and it has problems, and I know lore people are going to complain about the choices it makes in terms of like what it means to the video game lore, but like it feels to me like Christopher Gans was doing the best he could with the tools made available to him, to make a film with, they gave him a toolkit of like, here's these things from the games. I don't think he chose to put in Pyramid Head. I like, as much as people will like blame him or blame the film studio, I have no doubt in my mind at all, zero doubt in my mind at all, that Konami required him to put Pyramid Head in. And I know like lore hounds of Silent Hill will be like, it doesn't make sense that Pyramid Head is in her Silent Hill because Pyramid Head is a manifestation of James's guilt, etc. Yeah, and it's not Christopher Gans' fault. Like, I suspect Konami was like, we're not making a movie without Pyramid Head in it. He's too iconic to the franchise, because Pyramid Head shows up in like Silent Hill Origins and Silent Hill Downfall, Rain Downpour, whatever that one is called. Like Pyramid Head shows up in all the stuff that has nothing to do with Silent Hill 2 because Konami knows he's like the mascot for the franchise. And maybe we need to like rectify the idea that he's not a manifestation of James's guilt, or like James's like sexual aggression or something is more accurate, not guilt. Like, but like maybe we need to understand that like it for James that's what he was, but maybe like Pyramid Head is something else for other people in other manifestations of the town. We're going to play Silent Hill 2 remake on this channel sometime, by the way. I bought it. I have not played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I hear it's quite good. But yeah, I like the Silent Hill movie. I adore the fact that they kept the music from the games in it. I love that there's a few weird video gamey touches to how the film does things. Like there's this one shot where she drops a knife in this like, not a gorge, but it's like the gap between two buildings, and there's something that's so incredibly mechanical about how watching the knife fall between these two buildings. That's exactly the kind of shot you would see in a video game when you lose access to an item. There's something strangely video gamey about it, but I think it's actually, the story is coherent. The story is frankly better. The story in Silent Hill movie is better than most movies in this whole list. Like, it is a more complex, more resolved set of story mechanics than almost everything in this list. I think it's got cool visuals. I like the first Silent Hill film. I think it is unfairly maligned. I will defend it entirely as like a reasonably serious horror fan. If you can't tell, I think Silent Hill is. I think it's actually good. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Silent Night, Deadly Night is the original, I should say, not the remake, is on the low end of maybe worth seeing. We've talked a little bit about holiday themed horror films. Something I guess I never really thought about, but just came to mind the other day is the fact that like Halloween is actually one of like kind of maybe the first holiday themed horror film, and it's so obvious to make a horror film about Halloween that it almost doesn't feel like it is actually part of the trend of making Halloween themed or holiday themed horror films, but it is. And I just the other day I heard this clip of John Carpenter complaining about the Friday the 13th movies, which like he was talking about the fact that like Friday the 13th was a knockoff of Halloween insofar as that like Friday the 13th is also like, okay, what's the spooky day after Halloween? Like I said at the beginning of this video, the spooky day after Halloween is Friday the 13th. So of course we need to make a horror movie based on it. And it's like, I'd never really thought of that connection to be like, oh yeah, Friday the 13th is also kind of a holiday horror movie. Because when I think of Halloween and the Friday the 13th movies, I don't think of them as holiday horror films. I mean, Friday the 13th isn't even really a holiday per se, but it's like they both are kind of part of the same trajectory as something like Silent Night, Deadly Night, or My Bloody Valentine, or Thanksgiving, or Happy Death Day. All of these, yeah. Sinister. I'm almost certain that I've seen Sinister. I think of it as being more like James Wan, Conjuring. I think it's in that zone. I'm almost certain I've seen it. I'm going to throw it under a rewatch. I know some people who are shooters for it. I'm not particularly interested because, again, I'm not crazy about the like Blumhouse horror thing, but I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't know. Sixth Sense, I would say, is not a horror movie. It is a horror tinged drama character study. It's about ghosts, but I don't think it's a horror movie personally. It is a good movie. Sixth Sense is good if you haven't seen it, whether or not you know the twist. I still think it's a good movie worth seeing today in 2026. Like, I think Sixth Sense is good. It is good, and I don't even necessarily think, I said, I don't necessarily think you need the twist for it to function as a film. Skeleton Key, I have never seen. It doesn't particularly interest me. It's another haunted house film of the 2000s, maybe into the early 2010s, that is just in that zone that means nothing to me. Haunting films, just for the most part, are kind of whatever. Slaughter High is kind of fun, kind of stupid. I lean towards saying it's not really worth seeing, but I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. It's just like, in the grand scheme, if you're gonna watch like a goofy horror movie, there's better goofy horror movies than it. More missing films keep coming to mind for me, by the way, of like, why aren't they on this list? Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. Why is that not on this list? We got Slither. That's a goofy one upcoming, so I guess we'll get there in a minute. Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. I actually don't know this one. I don't know this one, so I'll throw that into want to see. Sleepy Hollow. I'm softly inclined to say not a horror movie, but I think it kind of is. I think it's horror saturates it enough that we can call it a horror movie. It's soft. It's like a good horror movie for people who aren't into horror movies. I think it's on the low end of actually good. I think it's on the low end of actually good, and it's got some nice visuals. It's Tim Burton before CGI completely melted his brain, and yeah, it's got, it's got Johnny Depp, who, boo, I don't like Johnny Depp, but it's Johnny Depp before he got like all the Oscar buzz and stuff for Finding Neverland, and like that period in his career, after which I think he became particularly insufferable. In this period and earlier, I think he was a much more effective screen presence for a million reasons, but it's like a decent enough horror tinged Halloween-y adventure that will put it in the low end of actually good. Slender Man, I haven't seen. I don't particularly care about it. I am curious about it, I guess, less on the front of it being horror and more on the front of it being emergent mythology of the contemporary age. Yeah, I never was into. I guess I feel like I'm just a little too old, or was like, I kind of missed the boat on a lot of like internet horror stuff. So like I am cognizant of and have like encountered some stuff around Slender Man. I'm cognizant of and have encountered some stuff around the back rooms. I've seen definitely way more backroom stuff than Slender Man stuff. And like this kind of like emergent like creepypastas and fic that you get, and like is it Corpse Father? What's that guy with the really deep voice who does readings? I forget what his name is, but Slender Man is kind of in this wave that I guess I think I was a little bit too old for. Maybe not too old for, but it's just like I wasn't. If I were younger, I absolutely would have gotten into it. Like I would have been absolutely on the wave, not only into it, but like probably contributing to it in some capacity or another creatively. Yeah, but I don't hate it. I'm not trying to be like a grumpy old man who dislikes this stuff. I'm just saying that it's like, it's not for me. It's not for me. And I'm like, old enough that like, as much as I like so much of the Renaissance, the horror Renaissance, the prestige horror thing from the past decade or so. And I love to see that. That's also like a great deal of my love for the genre is going back and like I watch stuff from like the 70s and 80s all the time, which is before I was born, but you know, I am inclined to consume that content more than this, you know, the new stuff. Slither, James Gunn. Slither's cool, and I feel like it's kind of been forgotten a bit. It's very, very disgusting. It's kind of funny. I don't know if it's that funny, but it's like it's got a few funny jokes. Very disgusting. I think it's a pretty good adventure start to finish. I think that it's actually good. I think it's actually good, and I think I'm gonna put it. Yeah, we could put it something like that. I think that's okay. I might kick Alien Resurrection down a little bit. Maybe I don't know. A lot of these are kind of on par for me. Slither is there's some good body horror. There's some like pseudo zombie stuff. You got Nathan Fillion. Yeah, check out Slither. It's one that's gotten a little bit forgotten. Yeah. It does remind me though, in terms of like body horror from that era, is Teeth on here? Teeth is not on here. Yeah. That's too bad. Teeth, I don't actually like Teeth. I think Teeth is actually kind of a bad movie, but it's one that's interesting to talk about as part of that moment in horror history. Smile. Smile is not particularly good. I think it's maybe worth seeing. I think the thing about Smile is that it's like it is not. It's kind of it has aspirations to be a prestige horror film, and it's not. Like it isn't actually a prestige horror film, but it has aspirations towards being one, and it's not as effective as it wants to be. It has interesting ideas, but it's not as smart as it thinks it is. I still kind of respect it for just trying to be what it is, because it does have good ideas, but it is also because it's not really as smart as it wants to be, a little too reliant on a couple of jump scares, and you know, I think that it I respect it enough that it belongs in the maybe worth seeing section. And again, has good ideas, which makes it like interesting to talk about and interesting to engage with. And you know, when I think about it, I do actually think it is probably better than like Megan. Yeah, I'm willing. I guess I'm willing to say it's better than Megan. Smile 2, also fine. Doesn't contribute almost anything. Like I don't think Smile 2 is that useful, which is unfortunate. I don't think it like it isn't able, you know, you would hope based on the success of what Smile is that Smile 2 could build on it and like succeed where Smile 1 fails. I don't think it does. In fact, I don't think it's any worse than Smile 1, but I think Smile 2, by staying on par, I am less inclined. I like respect it less. Like I don't want to say that films need to infinitely get better, but like the fact that it wasn't able to build on what the first one did, I think that is itself worth criticizing. Smiley, I don't know anything about, so I'm throwing it under haven't seen neutral. Sometimes They Come Back is a one I don't remember at all. Needs a rewatch. Sometimes They Come Back Again. I think I have also seen this. I think I rented them at the same time, and I think I watched them in the same day. Sorority Row looks like it sucks, so down there it goes. Soul Survivors is actually bad. Don't want to talk about it though. The Stand. This is the older one. This is the new one. So these are out of order. The Stand book I have read. I like the Stand book. I don't particularly like either adaptation. The original one, I think the original one is actually bad. The remake I haven't seen, and I don't particularly care to see. And also, should these be on here? Because like they're definitely like there's some on here. There's some things on here that I know are like there's some things on here that I know are crossing the line of like, is it TV or is it movie? I feel like Stand is absolutely just a TV series. Like it's not a movie, so I don't think it belongs on here. And or like if we're going to bring horror TV in here, that's like its whole own category. Stay Alive I haven't seen. I don't know if I'm particularly interested. I'll throw it under neutral. Storm of the Century. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I can't say the poster inspires me. The Strangers. The original The Strangers is okay. It's got some good visuals. I think it's kind of low in the zone of maybe worth seeing. There's a new trilogy of Strangers movies that have come out in the past 3 years. I think they literally came out like 2023, 2024, 2025 or something like that. All of which are apparently quite bad. The original Strangers is fine. It's got good visuals. I don't think it's great. If you want a few good spooks, it's fine. If you want a couple nice visuals, it's fine. I will say too, it's in its defense, to be an old man and complain about modern movies, Strangers is one of those movies where like you look back at certain movies from the 2000s and before, and it's actually like kind of shockingly beautiful in a way that you don't necessarily reliably get in movies today. And people have complained a lot about like the Netflix look and how flat colors are and things. And like I think that Strangers is like an example of an older movie where you're like, yeah, it's actually kind of crazy that a movie that isn't trying to be like a prestige drama chasing Oscars or something looks this good. And there's a great video on YouTube. I can't remember who put it out, but they talk about something similar with the movie Superbad. And the movie Superbad has no reason to look as good as it does, but it actually does. It's like an incredibly beautiful movie, like shot composition wise, colors, how they're handling lighting. Like it is better lit than a lot of like contemporary like 2020s like Oscar dramas. And it's just like a random comedy from the 2000s. I was watching closer to the holidays. I watched Bad Santa, the Billy Bob Thornton movie, which had actually, I thought I had never seen it before. And then as I was watching it, I was like, maybe I've seen this or more of it than I thought, or maybe I've only ever seen bits and pieces of it on TV and never all of it all the way straight through. But there's this one shot in Bad Santa of all movies, like basically like a shock comedy, where is it Bernie Mac? Is that his name? Who's also in Ocean's 11. Anyway, whoever is playing the kind of like head of security at the mall, like they're in his office, and not only is he well lit and like the environment is well lit and everything, but he like peels an orange with his hands, like he's like pulling the skin off an orange, and like not only is the orange itself glistening, but like the camera is so perfectly tuned, so perfectly in focus, and the lighting is so pronounced and purposeful that you can see the zest, like not juice, you can see the zest releasing oil into the air as he peels this orange. And it's like, man, it is shocking that a movie that doesn't have to look this good does look this good. And The Strangers, I think, is kind of in a similar territory in moments. Strangers Prey at Night, I have not seen. I've not seen any of the Stranger sequels. I don't know if it's good or bad. I only knew the first one got a little buzz when it came out. Sweeney Todd is not a horror movie. It is a musical, and it is not scary. I don't really even think it's particularly horror themed. It's gruesome, but I wouldn't call it, I don't think it's attempting to be scary. And then lastly, we've got Sweetheart, which I don't know anything about whatsoever. It doesn't look like a horror movie to me from its poster, but I'll just throw it under neutral because it doesn't look as bad or dumb as something like, I don't know, Insidious, I don't know, or Identity. Identity is an exceptionally bad poster. This is like one of the worst looking posters on here. That's the better example I should grab for the future. Open House looks terrible based on its poster. Good horror poster design and like horror paperback novels and stuff is a lost art. Old man yells at cloud once again. Cool, everybody. We just did the longest letter section by far, and only took us about an hour. Not bad. Okie doke. A good one today. We didn't add that many to the top end of the list. Just to, you know, our top line, we added Silence of the Lambs and Shining, which is great. We didn't add any exceptional or any outstanding films. We just added 2 personal favorites, but we got a few actually goods in. Yeah, we got Sleepy Hollow, we got Silent Hill, we got Slither. That's you know, a solid run of movies on its own. We got Scream, very good. We got Saw, the first one, pretty good. We got a few others. We didn't massively expand the please don't or actually bad sections. These are shorter than I thought they would be, but I also, you know, some of this is because I've deliberately avoided things that I you know, throughout my throughout my life in watching horror films, I'm less inclined to just watch the broadly generically bad, like, you know, latter Exorcist sequels, or like Deliver Us from Evil, or later Insidious films. Like, I'm just not going to watch that stuff. And I've seen plenty of bad horror films. But if I'm going to watch something bad, I'm going to watch something that's like bad while being aesthetically interesting, which a lot of those movies unfortunately aren't on this list. Like, I'm actually kind of shocked. There's only 2 movies on this list that start with letter Z. There's so many movies that have zombie in the title, and we only have Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. You know, we don't have Zombie 2, Zombie 3, Zombie 4, any of those movies. We don't have... there's a lot of movies that I would have thought would have been on here. And again, maybe we'll make a list at some point that's like, you know, we'll maybe make a list at some point of like, we won't add them as posters, but we'll just like run through, you know, an IMDb list or something and just try to hit a bunch of stuff that wasn't on here and see off the dome what we want to add. Because Terrifier, you know, just jumping through the end of this sequence, we have Talk to Me, but we don't have Bring Her Back. We have Terrifier, but not 2 or 3. We have The Thing and The Thing, but we don't have Thing from Another World. We're missing a bunch of Tremors sequels, actually, which I wouldn't even mind making mention of. There's quite a few Tremors sequels, believe it or not. There's got to be more movies with vampires in them than we're missing. Yeah, we're running low down here. No Teeth, we mentioned that. Got to think about what else we're missing from here, folks. We'll get to that soon enough, though. Okay, well, we've finished our first section once again, and we're going to pause our music from Eerie Tales. I think probably the worst of the scores we've had so far is our backing music. I hope it wasn't too irksome, but I was thinking about changing it while we were watching because that wasn't great. We're going to boot up Resident Evil 4. I'm going to mute myself again very briefly while I go get my water bottle. I might need to refill my water bottle, and we're also going to, I'm going to turn off the lights in here so I can have even less light than previously. We're going to open our selector. We change this to Resident Evil 4. Okie dokie. We pop over to RE4. Okay, now is it working? Okay, yes, we're full screened. Okay, we're gonna run away, everybody. So I'll leave you at the menu as soon as it boots up. You can get some of that ambient audio of the dark road ahead. So, okay, everybody, here we go, and mute. All right, everybody, we're back. How do I want to position myself so that I can... Of course, somebody's trying to buzz my door right as I sit back down. It's not for me, so I'm not replying, and hopefully they go away. I hate when people just pound at all of the door keys because they need to get into the building. Like somebody locked themselves out or something and they just want... Or, I don't know, it's somebody trying to steal packages. I don't know. I've had a package or two stolen. We continue into Chapter 6, everybody. I think this is going to be the final chapter of The Village. Here we go.
Hey, got a smoke?
I do. The kind you like. Now where's the amber?
Unfortunately, it's not on me at the moment. And you really should be telling me what a good job I did. Busted my ass and managed to hide it right before I got caught. Which is why I'm still alive.
The deal was, we get you out of here when you deliver the amber. No amber, no protection, Luis.
Such a stickler for details, Ida. Okay then. I'll go get it now, how about that? And I do have something else I need to get too.
This is Roost. I've got some bad news, Condor 1. With the weather like this, the chopper can't make its approach. Can you stand by until it clears?
Negative. Too dangerous. We're gonna get out of here and find someplace safe.
I'm sorry. I wish I could do more to help.
Don't worry about it. We'll swim home if we have to. Condor 1, out. Let's go.
What's gonna happen to me?
Right now. Let's just focus on getting out of here.
Yeah. Right.
We have 9. I'm probably going to save this until we can make more shotgun shells. Hopefully we should be able to do that soon. I'm not doing great on ammo right now. Yeah, it's not doing great. Knife durability is in pretty bad shape. I don't know if we're going to see another merchant anytime soon. Okay, that just has 2 slots. That just has 2 slots. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a merchant anytime soon. Very, very possible we will. We'll see. Oh, no, well, I see. There we go. Well, immediately answered my own question. So, you know, the acting job on Ada, when this game first came out 3 years ago, got really heavily criticized by people. Looking back at it now, I actually kind of like the performance. I have a sneeze coming, everyone. Sorry, just a moment. Sorry. I actually quite like her performance. It's very flat and very, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's unbelievable. It just feels like someone who is like, it feels like somebody who's like very, very done or something. That is, I don't think that's a bad thing personally. Like, I think that it makes her feel like she's not trying to please anybody. Like, the character isn't, the character is like cool. Oh, shotgun shells, thank you. The character is, you know, maybe this is a worthy critique of the actress, that, you know, she wasn't trying hard enough or something like that, but like there's something like immensely believable to me about like this secret agent who is kind of dispassionate about the goings on which surround her. Okay. Merchant tip, midnight stroll. You ever see those nasty guys with tentacles riding on their heads? Not only are they dangerous, but they're a pain to kill too. They do have a weakness though. They absolutely hate bright lights, like the sun. That's why you don't see them out during the day. So if you ever do go for a walk during the night, it might be wise to keep flash grenades handy. Hell, I keep a couple on me at all times. You could make some yourself using the recipe I'm selling if you are interested. Yeah, I probably should actually.
Welcome. I've got something new for you, mate.
Riot gun. So this is the upgraded
All my
shotgun.
wares are in tip-top shape. I assure you.
I wasn't gonna upgrade to the shotgun or the riot gun. If I sell the shotgun, how much do I get out of curiosity? I do really like my shotgun. And I just reloaded it, so I just... It's worth 96,000. That's pretty good. First, we are gonna buy this. Oh, sorry. Flash grenade.
Information is a commodity these days.
Riot gun. Comparing it against this shotgun. Yeah, I think it might
save your life.
You know what? Yeah, let's get the riot gun. I don't particularly like the striker, which is the third shotgun in the game. We will sell Velvet Blue. I think that's all we have to sell right now until we mix and match stuff. Yeah, let's sell the shotgun though. Tune up the knife. We do buy the riot gun.
That there's a real boomstick, mate. It will reduce your target to a bloody pulp.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I need
You'll get some bang for your buck. I
E.
guarantee it.
I should probably upgrade my knife power at some
Knife
point.
needs care every once in a while.
It's not like a particularly big upgrade. Like, we'll do it, but
as you wished.
riot gun though. Let's see. Can we do? Yeah, we can do one.
We're starting to get
8.0 is already like quite good.
See how that feels, mate. Fella like yourself
And I could get
should
it all
notice
up.
the difference
9.6
right
is pretty
away.
appealing going into what we have upcoming as well. If you'll pardon me, everybody, for a moment, I'm getting work notifications, of course.
Your weapons are in good hands, mate. I'll see you right.
Just a moment, everybody. I'm just going to reply to this work text.
Time is money, mate.
Okie dokie. I could, and I think we will. I think we should. I think having this
As you wish.
is worth it, and I'm not gonna get a rifle upgrade, I don't think, nor can I. So
Anything else I can help you with?
trade. Oh, new trade stuff. High power scope. I don't know if I really want that
Back
yet.
is killing me.
10 gunpowder
Years
and the
haven't
red
been
9
kind
stock.
to us.
Thank
Gun
you.
will look great with that.
10 gunpowder I think I do want, and I think that there's supposed to be enough spindles in the game that we can get. That doesn't work on the red 9. I think this
There's
is
some things
useful.
money can't buy. An interesting choice. I mean it in a good way, of course. Well then, what can I do? Come back anytime.
Okay. Just do a quick... We do a quick save, and we, I think we'll try to keep chapter starts as their own saves. for the most part. Not uniformly, but we cool. We got those connected now. Let's actually rearrange. I think I should sell the darts and the mines though, just to make up a little bit more room. So we sell. This is one of those things where it's like if I ever do another run through of this, either casually or just for fun, I'll probably do like a mines. I'm gonna keep just in case. Are these only? We sell that. I'm going to keep the mines because I don't think you can craft them into anything, but I'm not positive. This is 5 gunpowder and a large. I don't think I want to do that. I am going to get some shotgun shells real quick. And we got bonus shotgun shells. That's extremely good. Do I want to do this? I have 8. I'm going to hold off for a minute and see what we find. And then... Okay. Pardon me once again, everybody, while I... Sorry. It's way past the end of my work hours. Like, it's like 3 hours past when I finish, and I'm getting texts from the West Coast crew who are 3 hours behind me at the end of their day. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Forward we go. We're going into a relatively tough portion of the game as well, I'll say. Tighten the defenses. This is a direct order from Lord Sadler himself. Convert the area beyond this point into a defensive position so that no intruders may pass. I'm willing to make any and all sacrifices for the sake of righteous faith. My devout believers, please build me an impregnable fortress, and make sure any heathen foolish enough to trespass pays for their wicked sins in blood. So presumably that's from Beatrix Mendez himself. I realized the other day I kept calling him the Big Cheese, and if you haven't played the original game, that might kind of mean nothing, because I don't think that they call him the Big Cheese in this game, but in the original game they do call him that. And I feel silly recurrently referring to him as Big Cheese, apropos of nothing.
Quietly. Got it.
Okay. I'll try.
Okay, let's see what we can do about...
Guess we're doing this.
No. Nope. Bad start. I don't... Ow! You know what? I'm not feeling great about this, so, yeah, okay. Sorry, everybody. Like, the work texts really have thrown me off. I was also, like, looking down at my phone, which is a silly excuse, I know, but nevertheless. Now, they said we're supposed to go in quiet, but I'm inclined...
But quietly. Got it.
to filter them towards me.
I'll try. Holy.
And for whatever reason, this didn't set off the alarms this time. Oh.
Guess we're doing this.
Now this is going to send them my way. Well, we got 2 of them dead.
They're serious.
Nope, I'm out. Ow. That's a lot of damage in one hit. And I don't have much in the way of ammo. We back up. I have botched this section just a little bit, everybody. More than just a little bit, I might say. What do we have in terms of collectibles here? We do have a treasure over there. Maybe I should have stealthed. Resources. Red herb, that's very useful. Handgun ammo, also good. We did burn through not as much shotgun ammo as I initially was worried I might have. I was thinking like I just used all of my shotgun. We still have 11 shots. That's pretty good. Yellow diamond is great to find. What else do we find up here, I wonder? Anything? No, I don't think so. Any other treasure? I don't think so either. So I think we just, we check for, yeah, supplies. Green herb, thank you. I just used one. Come on. Prompt, there we go. Do I need to catch her? No. Ow. How I jumped down here and didn't fall into that is remarkable. Did I already? Yes, okay, those are the ones that we already covered. I haven't done this one though. And a hand grenade, nice. I should have used that on the I should have used a hand grenade on that group of enemies, I think, rather than burning so much ammo, but easy come, easy go. More stuff. And, okay. I think that's that. And forward we go. When I said we're going to a difficult section of the game, I wasn't talking about that room. Honestly, that room I didn't remember in particular. I was talking about more of this entire chapter. I recall being one of the more difficult ones. I hear a police siren coming, by the way. It's not for me, but if you hear that on the mic, I apologize. I see you. I see you, guy. Just... I was hoping he was gonna come at me with a weapon, like a parry. I'd like... Uh-oh. That's bad. But he didn't hit me. Chalice of Atonement. I don't think I need that, but thank you. I will sell it. More money. Why the merchant takes pesetas in particular is fascination, because the Euro, I'm almost certain, was in Spain by 2004. Though it is a funny thing. They don't ever actually directly name Spain, I believe. Like, even though we know we're in Europe, and we know we're in Europe, and we know they're speaking Spanish, but yeah, I don't think that they ever name Spain. I hear, but I do not see. Is it behind the wall? I could have sworn I heard somebody. Yeah. Okay. We go slowly. We go quietly.
Sure is quiet.
Mm-hmm. That it is, Leon. I did just start, speaking of Spain, I did just start rewatching the other day. I didn't finish it. I started it too late, so I'll finish it probably tonight after I stream. Tombs of the Blind Dead, which I might have brought up during this playthrough. I can't recall. Tombs of the Blind Dead is a pretty cool... pretty neat. I feel like I hear people whispering. I think it's them in hiding. But it's a pretty cool... Oh, yeah. Okay. Not hiding, per se, but... Tombs of the Blind Dead is a pretty cool, not great, but like decent Spanish horror film from the early 70s. It's a zombie film, I should say. And I do think it's another one that's like in this weird territory where I feel like I think it is possible. Oh, okay, so we actually have enough no, shotgun shells, thank you. We have enough gunpowder. We do not have enough. Can I shoot this from the other side? No. Can't clip through and... No? Okay. Spanish horror film from the early 70s. I think it's in that territory like Burial Ground Nights of Terror, where I like speculate that it could have been an influence on the original Resident Evil 4. But I've never found any evidence to suggest that that's explicitly the case. And like, so the thing with Tombs of the Blind Dead, besides the fact that it's in Spain and it's a zombie movie, is that like it has these zombie monks, like zombie, they're Knights Templar. I might use this in advance of the coming fight. My health bar is almost maxed out, and we're not even halfway through the game, which is very good for me. So Tombs of the Blind Dead has like zombie Knights Templar. They wear black robes and stuff, and it's a weird movie. It's in the same territory as I think I brought up Living Dead at Manchester Morgue the other day, where it's like in the interstitial period in between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, where like they didn't really know what zombie movies were yet. Like it categorically wasn't. It wasn't like a subgenre or something. And the consequence of that was that they like
Stay here.
it's both
What? Okay.
hide. Thank you. We're about to have like a kind of a boss battle, mini boss. Grab just a few more resources in advance. What do we got here, I wonder? Oh, another one of these. Cute. Because the genre hadn't so rigidly formalized yet, it's able to do some interesting things that I don't think people would otherwise propose having. People wouldn't propose doing it in a zombie movie today, or even like 10 years later. So it has a few ideas that I think are quite interesting and quite effective, and strange in places. Can I not open that door?
It's locked.
Okay.
Won't open.
I think the Ganados burst through, so wait for jump scares, everybody. But there's like a thing on that wall over there that I need. And when I take it, they're going to burst through the wall. I'm going to do a cool flip. Don't get scared, but be aware, jump scare sort of forthcoming. And I think I will craft a flash grenade. Just so I have the option if I need. So Tombs of the Blind Dead, the robed zombies do remind me a bit of the Ganados that we get in the castle section, soon to arrive, actually, I should say. All right, everybody, time to get spooked. Chainsaw time.
Great.
Sorry, didn't realize that was yours.
I am flattered. But I'm a one-lady type of guy.
Yep, through the door. Oh, dang it. Just trying to get through the door. This is a problem. Can they break the table?
Here you go.
Nope. Nope. I made a mistake, everybody. I was trying to do the melee on her. It didn't trigger. And I picked up an item instead. That's okay. I do like that they made this fight mandatory, because it's a cool. This is a cool fight that is in the original game, but it's optional because there's a branching path moment right after the cabin in the original game, right? And did I make my flash grenade yet? No. Okay, we'll have that. So the original game has a branching path where you can either go down a like a valley. I don't really need to skip the cutscene, it's not that long. You can go down a branching path and either face another El Gigante, which is made a little bit easier because there's these boulders you can drop down onto him.
I am flattered. But I'm a one-lady type of guy.
We'll do one more.
Present for you. Keep coming.
And we run. We run more.
Damn. I knew it.
We're just going to keep circulating. Oh. Fine. Let's see.
Next.
Don't have any more grenades. Not of those, that type at least. What's the best way to go, I wonder? No, well, that's not good. I think I will.
Here you go.
Okay, where are... Okay, there they are. Hello. Oh, nice. Hit her sister. That's one of them down. That's both of them down. Crank. And a sapphire. Cool. Oh, you came just automatically. That's nice. Is there anything I dropped? There. Oh, health. I do want to get the health spray. That's quite good. Yeah. This is quite a generous arena. I think it's actually a little bit easier to get around in this one than it is to get around in the original game. Actually, let me just... I can climb and go up there that way, I think. Oh, I also missed. Handgun ammo. Thank you. I need that. Yes, an optional fight, which is too bad because I actually think it's like iconic. I think it's like more interesting also than the Ganado fight and... Or the El Gigante fight, I should say. And, oh, it is on the first floor. Oops. Other side. There we go. And now we... Is it this way? Yes. I guess this fight is also like semi-optional. Like if you kill the one... I think if you kill... If you kill the one who has the crank,
No, I'm okay.
you could hypothetically
You did
open
well
this
back
up.
there. Seems this isn't your first time running from creeps.
I can't tell if that's meant to be a compliment.
Let's see. What do we have ahead? Nothing anytime soon. Let's see. No treasure anytime soon. And if you ever play the HD fan, there's like a fan HD project for the original Resident Evil 4. That in the area where the dual chainsaw lady fight is, I forget what their names are off the top of my head. In that area, the HD project, which is incredibly faithful for the most part, adds this one, like the one kind of bit of authorial intent, I suppose. Not intent, but like they add something that is not just an incredibly faithful recreation of the original game. They add this whole extra little underground tunnel thing, which is neat.
All right, come on.
Okay.
There he is, the big cheese. Ow.
Requires cleansing. Come, child.
Ashley, run!
Let's see how this goes. Ow. Ow.
Don't worry about them.
Oh, I just blew myself up and knocked Ashley down. That's a bad... I made a mistake, everyone, and I died. So... Oh, I'm about to die. Okay. Well, that's on me. I don't know what the actual correct way to do this section is, because I actually had the same issue the first time I played this, when I played the game when it first came out. I also had this issue where I feel like I'm like missing some visual cue.
Hurry!
That might be...
Don't worry about
Is she
them.
downed already?
Enough.
Oh, and he punched me while... And she's okay, that's game over. Yeah, I don't know what's up. I maybe should use my flash grenade or something. Yeah, maybe we equip the flash grenade and just immediately throw that to get through that first section, and I think the barrels will maybe get us through the rest. But yeah, I
Hurry! Don't worry about them.
that was too early. Come on, Ashley.
Ashley!
Yeah, I screwed up again.
Anytime.
Is it this way? Nope, he got her again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I know someone is like screaming at the screen right now, being like, "How can you not tell?" No, I don't want to switch to assisted mode. Like auto aim isn't gonna like fix this. Like I'm in like a weird scripted sequence game that is not I don't think it's user error. Like, I don't think I'm...
Hurry! Don't worry about them. This way.
Oh, okay. Well, I just had to... I didn't even have to throw... I didn't even have to shoot the barrel. It's weird how small and simple that is, but... like, I screwed that up so significantly. 3 times.
Then run. Close one.
The fact that I died to that more than, like, I died to any boss or something is really, really, I'm gonna say goofy. Just money left behind. Well, we can't get it, so that's okay.
Listen, you're the one he wants. If we see him again, you run.
What about you?
I'll do my job.
No trespassing. No pasar. I think this is just, I think this is straight up just into the boss fight. Like, I don't think we have to go anywhere.
Ooh, you have this. Welcome.
Yep.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
We repair the
Good
knife
luck
real
to
quick.
You, stranger.
Old way shrine key, I presume, is used up now, but let's sell both of those real quick. I don't think it lets you, I don't think it offers to sell your keys until, yeah, they're used up. So we sell Old Way Shrine Key.
Thank you.
I still haven't looked up the guide for...
Anything else I can help you with?
I still haven't looked up the guide for, how to do...
Will that be all then?
No, I'm not done yet. I have nothing to upgrade there. I could upgrade.
Your weapons are in good hands.
Reload
mate.
speed's
I'll see
not
you
bad
about
to do. Ammo capacity doesn't help that much. At least when it's only +1, I feel like that's not as significant as upping reload speed. And trade, I don't think there's anything I care that much about. Not right now. We'll up reload speed because it's useful in a boss fight.
Friend. Anything else? Pleasant travels. Welcome.
Nope, I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to save. There we go. And what we're also going to do is we are going to parts. We're gonna unattach our scope just because
Next time,
I want
buy
iron
something,
sights
eh?
for the boss battle. Oh, another violet blue I could sell. That's fine. Handgun ammo is useful. Everything's reloaded. Okay, I think we're ready to head into the boss battle. And because I haven't been using the rifle much, I feel like I should use... I have a good amount of ammo, so it's not as effective as the shotgun, but... yeah, I think this is just straight into the boss fight. Red herb is extremely useful, though. We have 2 red herbs. If we get some yellow herbs, we're gonna be getting pretty close to we're gonna be in good shape. I'll just say. Sorry, I didn't call out a jump scare. I didn't remember that was there. But I guess I said that. Yeah, we're in boss battle zone.
Cease your pointless struggling. Abandon your body to the will of our god.
You're a shitty missionary. You know that.
Oh, Almighty, grant me the strength to crush your enemies.
Son of a bitch! Ashley, run!
Okay.
Hasta luego.
God, I thank you for your gift.
You want to get ugly? Let's get ugly. Should have known you were one of the bugs.
Oh, I thought I hit B. Let's get some more stuff. Am I missing him? Stab him?
You move quick for such a big bastard.
Reload time. Ooh, I can jump down from the top. That's neat.
To think you could be foolish.
Get back to the top again.
Pitiful.
Oh, that was not an evade. That was a parry. Oh, also a parry. It's on me.
Guess your tap dancing days are over.
Ow! Did he throw a barrel at me? I think he did. I think we need the pistol for this. Yeah. Grab some barrels. Nope. Grab some barrels. Ow. Rude.
Hey! Watch where you're swinging those things.
Ow. Rude again. Grab barrels. Oh, nope. Grab some barrels. Ow. I don't want to keep wasting ammo on you. I'm gonna have to heal again, probably. Let's just use one green now. A lot of ammo. Just the ammo. Is this gonna be a kill? I don't think so. Yeah. Ow, ow. Let me climb ladder. Let me climb. Dang it. Ow! I wanted to shoot those. Grab barrels. Grab barrels. Dum-dum, grab barrels. Ow. Very rude.
Leon! Leon! Quick! This place is coming down!
Mendez's false
Give my
eye.
regards to your god.
An incredibly bizarre thing for Leon to want to grab. Is there anything in here I need? No. Incredibly strange thing for Leon to want to grab.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
In the original game, you're aware of the fact that there's an ocular
Alright, come on,
scanner.
catch their attention. Let's keep moving.
Leon, I'm not gonna turn into one of them, right?
I won't let that happen. I promise.
Just for the fun of it. In the original game, you're aware of the fact that there's an ocular scanner, so the idea that you need his eye is already, like, established. It's very funny that Leon just, like, apropos of nothing, like, picks up an eyeball. Treasure? Yes. Gold coin. Token, I should say. For the gacha. We haven't done that in a while. I haven't had the time to do the off-stream thing. I don't know if I will.
What's going on?
Well, at least we don't have to worry about being followed. Come on.
All right, that's the end of chapter 6. Man, that went by quick. That was like, I had some unnecessary deaths that did make it take longer than it should have, but it is a shorter chapter than I had remembered, maybe because the interstitial parts between the double chainsaw fight and the Batoris Mendez fight were not as long as I had remembered them being. Yeah, that wraps up super fast. And, like, admittedly, compared to the original Resident Evil 4, you're also not doing things like in the original RE4. There's like this gondola ride thing. There's like there's I don't want to say it's like padding the time. That's like a little bit too. I don't want to, like, be mean about it. Like, I don't think it's, like, intentionally padding time. I don't think we have anything that I want to... I don't think we have anything that I want to do in bonuses while we yap. I think I will yap for just a little bit after the fact. Do we want to do a Mercenaries run? I guess not. It's saying we should finish the story before we do Mercenaries. Okay, we'll finish the story before we do Mercenaries. I guess we could just yap over the ending menu if that's cool. The online store Resident Evil Requiem is what you know, I was particularly motivated to want to yap about at the end of this one. I'm really excited. We are getting close. We're like less than 2 weeks away from Requiem releasing, and I do want to say up front, and I'll you know, foreground this in front of my Requiem videos, that I've not completely quarantined myself from information about Requiem. I watched the announcement trailer, and then there was a secondary trailer, and there's subsequently been a trailer 3 and a trailer 4. Trailer 4 just came out this week. I've deliberately avoided watching them. I've had information from them like leaked to me a little bit, so I don't want to get too spoiled. I don't want to, like, I'm not like usually a mega spoilers person, but like Resident Evil is something that I'm more inclined to want to like experience up front for the first time on its own, because I love this franchise. I'm looking forward to Requiem. It's looking pretty big, and like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like there's ways that you could like deceptively edit the Resident Evil Village trailer to make it seem like a much bigger game than it actually is. And it actually is a pretty big game. It's a pretty long game. Like it's about as long as Resident Evil 4, maybe a little bit longer. But there's like there's ways you could edit a trailer for it that make it seem bigger than it is. What I've seen from the Requiem trailers, as well as a few of the things that I've had leaked to me, not leaked, but like I've without intending it, I've overheard people online talking about the content of trailers 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. It seems to me like it's going to be a very big game, and I'm inclined to think that because usually Resident Evil trailers deliberately only include things from the early stages of the game because they don't want to spoil people, right? Like they want things to be they want there to be twists and turns and surprises. The fact that so many different things have already shown up in the trailer, if they're maintaining the long-standing tradition that what they show off in the trailers is just from the early, like the first act of the game or so, that means there's a lot of content in the first act, and it very, you know, if that is indicative of how the rest of the game is scaled, I'm a little I'm intrigued and excited, and also almost a little bit concerned about what all that could possibly mean. And I've seen some people a little bit concerned, or a little bit critical, or a little bit people have been quick to compare some of it to Resident Evil 6, and people are concerned that the scale of what's being proposed, and the idea that like you play as this blonde woman whose name I forget, is it Grace maybe, and Leon, and that they are they have two different kind of distinct campaigns. I don't think that they're separate. I think that they like intertrade a little bit, which is like a common thing in Resident Evil. Like you usually, like almost every Resident Evil game for quite some time now at least, has had you swap between perspectives at different points. But the idea that they're very distinct experiences, the idea that Grace's are going to be more horror oriented and Leon's are more action oriented, has people concerned about some of the language that was used around the preparation of Resident Evil 6, where the idea was that like Leon's campaign was going to be more horror oriented, and Chris's campaign was going to be like purely action oriented, and that Jake's campaign was going to be like a balance between the two, which I don't think was really true at all. I think all of them are just action campaigns. but nevertheless, it was like the pitch was that like, okay, each of these different campaigns is going to kind of like function in a different way. And I think the idea that, yeah, like Grace and Leon are these like two different characters who have kind of two different paths to follow, and each is not just different content in the story, but they're actually different, radically different gameplay styles. And it's not just like the sequences in RE2 Remake where you play as what's her name, where you play as Sherry Birkin for a little bit. Like that's like a level. You play as Ashley in Resident Evil 4 for that matter, and it's like a level. You play as Mia in RE7. You play as Chris in Village, and like Chris in Village and Carlos in the 3 remake do the kind of like, okay, it's more actiony thing that seems to maybe be kind of being proposed by Requiem, but it does feel more robust than what we saw with Chris. I don't know, maybe it is going to be comparable to Carlos, and I think the Carlos sections in the RE3 remake are quite good. I think they're fine. I think that they're like, I'm happy that it's not the entire game, but I think it's like a nice way to mix it up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking it's going to be, but I know a lot of people are expressing some amount of concern over the comparisons being made, or like, is there a possibility that this is what Requiem is going to be pursuing? I guess we don't need to like speculate that much longer. It seems like we are going to, we'll know soon, but I'm intrigued. The other thing that has been leaked to me, or again I've like overheard, that was released as of trailer 4, and like if you want to go into the game completely blind or avoid things, now is the time to turn off the video. Thank you for watching, etc. Bye-bye. But it seems like Leon is sick. Leon is sick with something in Requiem, and it is the newest trailer seems to identify it as being, I think, Raccoon City Syndrome or something to that effect. And I think that's I because I haven't watched the trailer, and I'm going to avoid the trailer. I don't mind necessarily being spoiled on the idea that there's this like plot element called Raccoon City Syndrome, or the idea that Leon is sick. I think it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of an interesting plot beat, and I think it could be like kind of a cool thing to wrap up some like long-standing plot concerns that people have had about like Jill and Chris and Leon and Claire. Inevitably in the course of a campaign they get bit. Why don't they turn into zombies? And like, I think the easy way to hand wave that is just to argue like, oh yeah, they are just immune to T-virus. Like some percentage of the population is just immune to the T-virus. And I think that was always like an okay enough explanation, but it was also always kind of a fan explanation. And like other people would push back on that and be like, there isn't serious canon. It isn't seriously confirmed in canon that this is the case. And it is just as plausible to say that an actual canonical playthrough of these games is like hitless. Like the idea that like, or at least biteless, like you should never get bitten by a zombie. That would be like the canonical way that it actually played out if this was like real history. I'm kind of intrigued to see if Requiem wraps around to that, and if we find out that like they got bit, and like, is Raccoon City Syndrome, if that's even what it's called, are we going to find out that that's like dormant T-virus in them, or like they get turned into carriers but they're asymptomatic, or is Raccoon City Syndrome something entirely different? Am I way off base? Is it some kind of exposure to something that we otherwise aren't familiar with, or they're going to wrap back around to having to do with something about their exposure to tyrants. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see. I'm glad that I think that that's one of the only things that's been spoiled for me is the existence of this idea that there's Leon is sick, and this syndrome is so named because it seems like other survivors of Raccoon City are coming down with it. And I don't want to spoil myself on it anymore, but it's coming up soon, and yeah, I have no doubt we should be able to finish this before that comes out, because we've got 10 chapters left in the main game. I'll knock out another chapter tomorrow night, so that's 9 chapters to go. I'll try to do 2 chapters each, maybe 3. I'll do 2. I think I'll do a minimum 2 chapters each on Sunday and Monday. So that's that'll be 8, 9, 10, 11. So then we'll just have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll have 5 chapters to go. Which I think we'll be able to knock out pretty easily in the subsequent week. Like, I think that, like, if we're trying to do about 7 chapters a week, you know, we're in good shape. I don't know if we'll be able to do separate ways as well in advance of Requiem. We'll see. Ideally, I'm hoping just do, I don't know, maybe once we get maybe once we get the dumb horror movie tier list thing out of the way, which we might even finish tomorrow, who knows. Maybe I will be doing 2 chapters in the evening after work some days. I don't know. We'll see. Things might also slow down when we get to the island. I don't know. Because the island is going to be all new content for me as of the remake. I don't know. I also don't remember what is the exact day Requiem is coming out. This is visible on screen, right? I think it is. You are out February 27th. So it is literally 2 weeks from today. I don't want that to play because that might be the newest trailer. We are probably going to get the deluxe. I don't know what is included in deluxe. I guess I should probably double check. Pre-order bonus is Grace's costume Apocalypse. I don't really care. Content may be made available a little later days. Stupid. Deluxe edition gets us what? We get 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 Leon costumes, a Lady Dimitrescu costume for Grace. I can't tell what that is. That might be casual Grace. We get 4 weapon skins, which I don't care about. We get 2 filters, which is silly. I don't care. 2 charms. I presume they're going to do case charms like this. Files. Sorry, my screen. The. Can I blow this up? No. And an audio pack. Oh, here we go. Files. Letters from 1998. So maybe that's I don't know, some kind of bonus content. None of this is particularly compelling to me. I don't think any of this is actually worth an extra $10, but, like, I don't know. Costumes are kind of fun. I don't know. None of this is actually worth $10. But a must-have for True Survives is stupid. I don't think it's necessary for fandom or whatever, but I'm a RE fan, and I'm not opposed to the idea of shelling out the extra money as a I don't know, like a hey, thank you Capcom for continuing to support this amazing series. Hopefully if they have the money, they get the idea that, like, yeah, like, please, like, keep supporting the series. One let's take a peek at the whole Resident Evil franchise actually while we have this up on screen anyway. I think we have everything. I think we have everything there is to have that is Resident Evil on Steam. Yeah, apparently there's only 12 Resident Evil games on Steam, which is less than I would have thought. And we do have them all. OG Resident Evils 1, 2, 3 are not on Steam. I think that they are on Good Old Games, so we could add them to my Steam library, but they're not on here. There's plenty of other Resident Evil games. We don't need to get into, like, we don't need to examine the whole series right now in terms of talking about, like, Gun Survivor, Dead Aim, Umbrella Chronicles, Dark Side Chronicles, Gaiden, whatever. There's plenty of other games, but okay. I just wanted to peek because this stuff was on sale as identified previously. Capcom publisher sale in general. I'm gonna yap for just a few more minutes. Let's actually take a peek at Capcom publisher sale together. Why don't we, everybody? They used to have Umbrella Corps. Is that what it's called? Core, C-O-R-P-S. On here. They took it down, and there's the other one that is similar to Umbrella Corps. I forget what it's called. That used to also be on here, and I kind of regret not buying it. I don't know how playable they are anymore because it's possible that those are like the kinds of games that like need servers, and if they are, then we'd be out of luck. The games I'm talking about are, so yeah, it's Umbrella Corps. Core is one, and then Operation Raccoon City, that was the other one that I was thinking about. We do have Revelations. We do have Revelations 2. Those are both on here. I guess why not? Let's run through the history, the release timeline. Yeah, Survivor's not on here. Is Code Veronica's not on Steam, is it? I've still never played Code Veronica. Someday. Code Veronica. Yeah, we have 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3. I guess this is just the remakes. It's not the like complete. It's not franchise complete, I don't think. Village 7-3. 4 remake. 0, 1, 4 original. Revelation 6-5. Okay. Yeah, no. So Code Veronica is not on here. I've still never played Code Veronica. I do really hope they remake it someday, as I talked about the other day. I don't think it's ever going to be their priority. Like, I think that there's other Resident Evil games they will remake before Code Veronica. But I want them to remake it because it is actually quite important to the main plot. Like, it is the interstitial that it ends the kind of early saga, the like pre-Resident Evil 4 saga. It sets up a bunch of stuff that's kind of crucial for the 4, 5, 6 series as well. So I would love that if possible. So we got Survivor and Survivor 2, Code Veronica, Gaiden. None of those are on here. Dead Aim is not on here. Outbreak and Outbreak File 2 are not on here. Umbrella Chronicles, Dark Side Chronicles are not on here. And then, as we said, Operation Raccoon City and Umbrella Corps. For the most part, I'm cool with a lot of these staying off. Outbreak is this thing that fans have always said. I feel like a lot of fans are very loud about wanting Outbreak, but I think that like it's a lot of young people who don't realize that like Outbreak is like, along with Code Veronica, is part of why people talked about like the franchise dying and like needing to be resurrected by Resident Evil 4. And like the Outbreak games weren't particularly well like reputed in the fandom for a very long time. Like, I feel like this is like historic revisionism or something that people talk about them so fondly now. And that isn't to say that they don't deserve to be talked about fondly, because I do think that they are really interesting games. I've never played them, but I've watched some people play them. I've seen some like retrospectives and things, and there's a lot of really interesting gameplay ideas in them. But I think people wanting Outbreak to come back, they don't fully think about what that would entail or what it would mean or what it would necessitate, and like how drastically you would have to change them. How drastically you would have to change them at all for the modern era, or if you kept them the same, the degree to which they would be very frustrating to the overwhelming majority of people who would attempt to play them. Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles I wouldn't mind, though. And I mentioned the other day as well, the thing that keeps getting stuck in my mind since I just bought House of the Dead, or Typing of the Dead Overkill, is that I really would love it if there was a Typing of the Dead Umbrella Chronicles and Typing of the Dead. Typing of the Dead Darkside Chronicles. That would be my preferred way of experiencing those games. I don't think it's ever going to be possible. It's just not. It's not in the cards for a million reasons. But I don't know. Again, maybe when I get my feet under me and I'm like, if I'm itching for more Resident Evil content, I'll look into the idea of contacting somebody who has like a no commentary playthrough and asking if I can do commentary over it. You know, with crediting their footage. I thought about just stealing footage and putting it up that way, but that seems rude. So anyway, we've yapped long enough. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I've been having a lot of fun with this, and my opinions on RE4 Remake are honestly only getting better the more that I've been playing with it. Like, I really did enjoy myself when I was playing it 3 years ago for the first time, and I was like bummed that my computer issues were kind of making it difficult for it to keep going into the island. But revisiting all the stuff, I think Resident Evil 4, the original from 2005, is always going to hold a more important place in my heart. But there is this part of me that is increasingly thinking that this game isn't better, but it might actually be like a worthy companion piece that might actually be as good as the original, while also just being different. And that's really high praise from me, because as I think I've mentioned, the original Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time. So saying that I think that this might be as good a game, even if it won't ever mean as much to me, is about the highest compliment I can give. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll keep it rolling at the castle. The castle section is incredible, so I'm really looking forward to experiencing all that again too. So we'll be getting into that tomorrow, though. We physically arrived at the castle. Chapter 7 starts tomorrow, Valentine's Day. Everybody, we'll have a romantic time in a gothic castle. So, alrighty, I have to do the awkward thing where the screen goes black and you get a silly, dumb, ugly rectangle for a moment. Okay, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th, and I'll see you tomorrow for Valentine's Day. Take care.